We're live.
Good evening, UFS community. Welcome to Top Deck Heroes. Everyone say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Kevin Broberg.
I said hi.
I didn't hear you. So,
I'll be sure to enunciate tonight because I'm a little ways away from the mic.
Cool. All right, so welcome everybody. Tonight we are going to talk a little bit about some news. We're going to talk about the Poughkeepsie PTC. We're going to talk about organized play, and then, of course, at the end of our session, we're going to go over our upcoming events. So, in the news, congratulations to Rob Snyder from, I believe, the Maryland group.
Yep.
With Life Gutsman winning the Poughkeepsie PTC this weekend.
Yeah, he's been tearing it up all over the place, and this week he tore it up all over Poughkeepsie.
Yep. Turns out when they brought back Red Horizon and he got fun toys like Double Tap, made that add a lot of power to that deck.
Dude, that's the only card from Red Horizon in that deck.
You sure?
Very close. There's some weight of memories, but
Giggles made it sound like there was a lot more.
It's a
Turns out when you give people a can-tripping foundation that draws you cards, there are a lot of copies of Summer Heat in that top 8.
Oh, only 28 of a possible 32.
It's really more like 22 because that includes a 123 card deck.
Well, let's not get into Ava.
So, congratulations to Rob Snyder. I heard in the interview afterwards he was going to use his flight voucher to come to the Rochester CCG 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
which, for those of you who don't know out there,
I'm not going to that one. Oh.
May 14th to 15th in fabulous Las Vegas at Level Up Expo. We hope to see you there.
I hope Gutsman wins that event.
Other things in the news, this week is the Gamma Convention. So, for those of you not familiar with Gamma, it is the... Oh, I don't remember the abbreviation, but it's a group for game owners and distributors.
Yeah.
And
Game Manufacturers Association.
Cool. Thank you, Hughes.
So it's an industry group that, Jazz Games is going to go out and try to sell their to peddle their wares, really, to get more distributors, get more stores to carry the Mega Man board game UFS.
Think of it as like Origins, but it's for like the publishers and developers and the stores and creators. It's kind of a semi-closed-in thing, which is why it's really interesting. Because this year they're actually doing a stream of it with Board Game Geek. So you get to actually go through, and normally some of these games, like stores, when companies would post articles showing off their games or whatnot, like an hour or two, a couple hours later or into the week of the show. But here, all of these companies are coming on and showing off their game live on camera, so you get to see everything that's in the box instead of a picture in an article talking about it.
So what this means particularly for UFS players with Gamma happening this week is this is Jasco Games' chance to meet with a lot of the industry leaders in both retail and wholesale, which is really big because that's how UFS gets into your store. What I'm really hoping for with the Gamma Convention is that Jason may be able to drop a date for Indies this week. Because I'm sure that's going to be one of the questions on everyone's mind at the convention is, when is your next set coming out?
Yeah, a convention like this is a really good time to release news, to try to drum up some hype among the assembled folks who there would be able to invest in it to help get it out there, or get out the door.
And also, I know we're talking about UFS, but this would also be a good time for him to maybe say something about that Street Fighter board game.
Yeah, so I think overall this is a good time for Jasco Game to make announcements, bring people up to speed as to what's going on. And because I know, and I think Hughes can attest to this too, when we're trying to sell UFS to your local brick and mortar stores, one of the main questions that comes up is, when's the next set coming out?
Yep.
Turns out, a 4-person playgroup can only buy so much Rise of the Masters.
Yep. Sometimes takes them up to like 6 months to... obviously they'll do like a big order in the beginning, like 1 or 2 small orders, maybe like a month after, but they may not order anything else for like another 6 months. Mm-hmm. Because unless there's a new set that comes out.
So that's about all we got for news. You want to talk about the PTC?
Well, I just also want to just comment that we still haven't gotten any spoilers for Worlds of Indies yet, which I'm a little disappointed about.
Yep.
But that's it for the news. Let's talk about the Poughkeepsie PTC, Kevin Broberg. So we're the structure of our discussion for each person, we're going to be just doing a brief description of your deck, a brief tournament report talking about, what happened and maybe those really exciting or really devastating moments. And then at the end, some props and flops, good things you want to shout out to people, and flops for things that just didn't go as planned.
All right. So I'll start off. For me, I played just my typical Void deck that I've more or less been playing for the past year. I really this is the deck I kept together to bring to events just to come and visit with people. Like, it does marginally well. I tweak it. I like playing Void, and nothing else new has come out, so I'm just going to keep on playing with this until I get something new. I had another deck I did put together, a all Ryu Ettencellas deck, which we ended up handing to Giggles a week before the event, because apparently he's fallen into peer pressure and doesn't want to play Snake Man anymore because everyone keeps making fun of him.
Good for him.
He no longer wants to be the villain.
As much as Snake Man is a villain deck.
Everyone apparently called it that. But so I was 2-0 in the beginning, feeling pretty well. Then I looked around the room, saw there was 2 other Liliths, and that kind of upset me, because usually with the way that I built the Void deck, I could pick almost any character with Void and slap it on the front and be good. And I usually manage to pick the character that I'm not going to have issues with diversity. Instead, I chose the one with the most copies of characters in the room. So, okay, so I had to man up and play for real for the rest of the day. Immediately after that, I hear that I'm playing against Giggles, and playing against my deck I know I can't win against, basically. So he completely destroyed me. And it was kind of a meh day from there. But I wasn't really going to be too salty, because I just wanted to come down there and visit people in Poughkeepsie and have endless apps at TGI Fridays.
Nice.
So, props to Giggles not playing Snake Man. Flops to Giggles not winning with my Ryu deck. But I was still pretty exciting that Rob won with what a lot of people is a pretty underappreciated character in the format. Like, it's Gutsman. He's not even one of those really good 5-handers we talked about.
Yeah, Giggles was sure he was going to win, too. I remember talking about it Sunday morning.
That was his downfall.
He was sorely mistaken.
That was his downfall. So, Kevin, your turn. Make sure to pay attention to the brief part.
Hey, man, I'm not the one who's talking about his deck and Giggles' deck. I played a Life Dimitri deck. He played a lot of throws. Not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, I made some choices with it. I only played 2 Templars. Probably should play more Templars. I want to see how the other half lives, where instead of playing 7 hand size resource advantage decks, I'd play a 6 hand size deck that doesn't have a win condition, and it kind of worked out. I went undefeated in Swiss, sort of, kind of. I didn't actually play my 5th round, but I'll get into that. My first round I played against Tim Keefe's Self-Destruct C deck, which was amazing, but I managed to grind that one out, winning game 1 after about 43 minutes when he self-destructed me twice. But after he self-destructed, he didn't get a good attack off after that, and I managed to keep my total high enough. Then I played 3 decks that all top-8'd in a row. First, Gutsman, that ended up beating me in the finals. Then the Life King deck, the Water of Lilith deck, and then in the last round, I got paired against Giggles and asked him to concede to me, because then it would be Swiss champ, and that's worth a lot in the Player of the Year race. And he eventually decided that he was okay with that. We were both locked for top 8 at 4-1, So he ended up 3rd seed and got to the semifinals in the end. Then in top 8, which we played that night, thanks to the great efforts of, I think, you, Jesse.
Yeah, it was me, Jesse, and Rich. We all went through, and I think Tim helped a bit too. And we went through all the decks. That's right. We had to grab Tim because no one wanted to deck check the Ava deck.
Huh.
Because it was 123 cards with the character.
So you guys all pitched in to get the deck checks turned over that night and in a timely fashion. It probably didn't take more than half an hour, I don't think.
Took us like
check
10
all 8
minutes.
decks. So really good job, guys. Then I got paired with Mason's Life My deck that plays like less than 30 foundations. I was a little worried about that, but I managed to pull it down in the end thanks to extreme long game strategies, and he sided in a bunch of action cards, further diluting the number of attack and foundations in his deck. Then I got paired with the 80 card Proto Man deck, piloted by Mr. Tyler McCartan, 5 card, and ground him out in some more really long games. I felt like I really couldn't lose that match because his deck just didn't have the punch to kick through me so much. Then finally got paired with Gutsman, and we played some close games. He beat me up, and I died. And my props are really pretty much just props to everyone who helped with deck checks on Saturday night, and props to everyone who showed up. We had 29 players, which is a really good turnout. I think it might be our best Poughkeepsie Pro Tour turnout.
I think we've had one close to that, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Because Poughkeepsie's been usually lining up with, oh, well, Rochester's happening soon, and we know a lot more people over that, or Gen Con's coming up soon, or Gen Con just happened.
All right, so
we
Sean,
could have had better weather for traveling, which was kind of nice. And
oh, yeah.
March travel in New York can be kind of sketchy.
Yeah. The PTC that they had right after Vegas last year for Poughkeepsie, Jesse was talking about it on the way down last year, how we were all playing games on our 3DS in the car, not paying attention. He was driving through a blizzard and we almost died like 6 times apparently, and none of us noticed.
Good times. Any flops, Kevin Broberg?
No, man, it was a great weekend.
Cool. All right, I'll talk about my experience. This weekend, I ran the Assets Athena deck. I made a couple of small tweaks. I added another Ultimate Undead. I added another Kien, and I swapped out the Lilith attack that Kevin runs for Rolling Cutter. All said and done, I thought I had a good time. The deck played well. Round 1, I played against Andrew Force and had like the nut clutch draw at the end when he was going to kill me with his Bomb Man with his 4 damage shield ram that became for 13 if I didn't block.
Yeah, Force is playing the Bomb Man deck, fairly similar to the one that got 4th place at Worlds this year. And if you don't know, it's an insane deck. It can kill you to death from anywhere.
The clutch moment came where he revealed my hand a moment ago with a low block in it, and he played the shield ram, and I deforested into a leaf shield, which gave me the breaker block so he couldn't kill me with another attack.
Well, it gave you the breaker block, if I remember the story correctly, so that he would be able to check a 4. He didn't have any attacks left in his deck. He would check a 4 to fail his check.
He checks a 4.
Yep.
So super luck, super clutch. It was amazing. Let's see. Round 2, I was paired against Marcus, who eventually made it into the top 8. I think I played him round 2. I don't remember. At any rate, I played Lilith. He beat me up pretty bad. Sorry, I dropped something. And, I mean, it was a Water Lilith deck. He got improved design up and running, so every move was coming in for 5 or 6 damage. And I had to deal with 6 Etten cells in 1 turn. It was a great time.
Sean, who designed that improved design card?
I don't know. Whoever did it just doesn't know how UFS works, clearly.
That card's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that deck.
Round 3, I got paired against Jordan Markle, who was also playing Water Lilith. What I had believed to be the worst matchup in the room for me. And game 1 went almost 40 minutes because he got almost a set of Ophidiophobia out. And Athena, unfortunately, unless she draws a million attacks or has a way to get her draw engine going, it's really hard to push damage through. Then round 4, I played against Stefan, who was playing Iori, who has come in 2nd place in every event he's gone to. Superior Technique was a real good card in that match because I could pretty much dial up everything I needed to deal with Iori, such as the right block zone, breaker blocks, revokes, to make him have to deal with progressive difficulty, which Iori really doesn't like. Round 5, I played against Gutsman. I did not know at all what the deck did, so I walked right into it game 1 and got my by butt handed to me. Game 2, he had no cards in hand. He had 2 Weight of Memories and a Caught Red-Handed up, and I played Ultimate Undead, had enough momentum to pump it to kill him, and then got too smart for my own good and kicked it away. Drew some cards, then he drew some cards, then he blocked and reversaled me to kill me.
Yep.
And I needed to check not a 3 to block the reversal, and I still could have killed him, but it did not happen. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So I kicked that one away. I could have gone to game 3, which hopefully would have gotten me a chance to get into top cuts. But at the end of the day, I came in 9th place, just missed the cutoff. And that was really all there is to be said about the tournament report.
Yeah, we
Props
had
and
29
flops.
players
Huh?
and only 5 rounds, so it wasn't a Jasco Games style event with bonus rounds in there. It ended up being a clean cut at 3-1-1.
Props, definitely props to the guys who helped us get through top 8 that night. Props to Rob Snyder for winning with Gutsman. Props to people I don't get to see very often. It was good to see Jordan Markle. I only get to see him like once a year, once every 2 years, so it was cool to see him. A couple of flops for the weekend, unfortunately. The event got off to a super, super late start due to a player not being there on time who had like 4 people's decks with him. And the judgment call was made to wait since, almost 20% of the tournament couldn't play because he wasn't there. So that's a flop. Flop to the store. We were promised in the post that we would get anything left over after the kit was paid for and after a certain amount was paid to the store and store credit, and the store backed out of it at the end. So I don't plan to ever go there again or give them any business. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which is guess going to get me onto my soapbox here in a minute, flops to Jasco Games for not having standardized tournament kits. There was some...
I have one more prop.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to bring up. Well, just you were making everything sad, so I got one more happy thing. Props to Rich giving up playing for the day to judge the event, because the person who originally set up the event to be at that store backed out of running the event and quit the game at the last minute.
Yeah, serious props to Rich. I think he handled things well under pressure, especially when I got super salty when the tournament didn't start on time.
Yep, he didn't listen to you. That was the best thing he did all day.
I mean,
I know he came over and made some rulings correctly in my table next to me, so he handled that well as well.
Like, I agree with you that it was wrong that we started late, but there were special circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, a judgment call was made, and
it would have been not a very happy room, I think, for the rest of the day.
No, a lot of people would have gotten screwed had we done what we were supposed to. My concern is, though, that, it was probably the right thing to do, to wait. But now we've set a precedent that as long as you have 3 people's decks, you can just show up to the tournament whenever it works for you.
Yeah, if you're important enough.
Yeah, if you're important enough, you can just show up late. Which is a really bad precedent to set. But enough about that. I do want to throw a couple more quick props out there. Prop to Rich's wife, Colleen, also Tim's sister, also a UFS player in her own right, for bringing Arthur, the happiest child I've ever seen in my life, and for bringing the dog, the softest dog I've ever petted in my whole life.
Who apparently got, petted into submission by a bunch of little girls that came into the store.
Oh.
See, I'll just went...
Props to the TGI Fridays in Poughkeepsie. We gave them so if you're ever in Poughkeepsie, go there. We let the management know that, about half an hour in advance that we were coming. And the look on their faces was priceless when I said we were bringing at least 20. And we got over there half an hour later. We waited maybe 20, 25 minutes for our one giant table together. They gave us 2 waiters, and I know the waiter at my end of the table, props to him because he was just awesome.
Both of them were.
So
because I was on the other end.
Big props to TGI Fridays. We don't get to say that very often.
Shout out to endless appetizers.
Yeah, so many appetizers. So let's move on to tonight's main story, which we've titled Sean's Organized Play Soapbox.
Let me pull up. We even have a nice little chart for people to look at.
Hold off.
So that way they can follow along. Hold off on it?
Okay. Hold off on it. We're not ready for that yet. So
yeah, first we gotta explain what's wrong and how and why we need to fix it.
So we had, as people saw in the forums, and with what happened this weekend, the tournament kit was, first of all, just weird. We all got random Red Horizon playmats. We got some promos, some old promos. We got some packs from the tins. People who made top cuts got some packs from Rise of the Masters. But if you read on the forums, you read that Jack made super negotiations to get this kit. He ponied up cards from his own personal collection to give out, and that's not good. It's not good that scouts have to not only do they usually have to pony up the cash to buy the kit in advance, which for some people $400 is a lot of money. I mean, that's just a lot to ask somebody, especially if they aren't have the income situation where they can pony that up. And a lot of store owners don't want to pony that up either because UFS isn't big. But that's not an issue I want to talk about right now. I'm so sorry, guys. I veered off.
It's fine.
Organized play.
Organized play. So not having a consistent kit, I just think is bad. The organized play just doesn't feel consistent. I know that here this coming week is the PTC in Arkansas. And I'm fairly confident that the kit we got in Poughkeepsie is nothing at all like the kit they're going to have in Arkansas. Especially if they don't have a scout there who's willing to pony up cards from their own collection and lose money on the event. And so the other problem with the current organized play setup is not everybody who goes feels like they're getting any sort of value out of it. We were talking before the show that, with the prizes we got, and we'll go over those real quick here, if you are a player, a grizzled veteran, you don't really get anything good out of it. Kevin Broberg, tell us what you got for coming in second place.
So my kind of top 8 prize, my second place prize was 24 booster packs of Rise of the Masters. And then in addition, I got kind of like a participation / high finishing prizes. I got a Red Horizon playmat that I think was Alice. Then I got a booster pack of Darkstalkers tin cards. I got my choice of 4 participation promos from the past few months and 1 top finish prize promo from the past few months. And I picked Sebastian for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all.
Didn't you get a thing of random ultra rares?
Yeah, I got a little pack of 4 random ultra rares as well as 2 of the Mega Man Rise to Power preview non-foil cards from Worlds.
Which the Mega Man non-foil promos I think came from Jack.
Yes.
Okay.
I think several of these things came from Jack. Could be mistaken.
Now, to give everybody kind of a good spectrum of what everybody got, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I got for coming in 9th place. So I got a random Red Horizon playmat. At the end of Swiss, Jack would allow people to pick one of the what I like to call the super promo, which is like the promo you get for coming in first or second, and then you would get 4 not super promos. So because I was fortunate enough to be the first person to choose, I was able to get a spider suplex, which felt pretty nice. And then after that, I got to choose 4 little promos, which I took a set of Curse Splats because he didn't have any summer heats. And then, in addition, you got to choose either Darkstalkers or Mega Man starter tin pack to open as well. And that was it for 9th place. Hughes, what did you get where you came in?
I got the same as you, the Mega Man 10 pack. I got the random playmat, and I got 4X participation promos, which were nice because I had taken up some other events for the past couple weeks, or just doing some things to help out other people. So I was able to shore up and get the combustion orbs I still needed. But after I ran around trying to set up and get the computer back on, because while we were handing out the prizes, the battery died. I was apparently the first one to not get the chance to get a spider suplex. So that was really depressing because that's the only promo I actually really wanted
Hughes,
out of everything that's out.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to chime in real quick that the
Mhm.
spider suplexes that were available were not part of the Jasco Games kit, according to Jack Hill, that he had purchased those specifically to give out as from himself.
Yep. So they weren't even part of the kit. And so, like, I was kind of mildly upset. And what ended up happening is because every single other top prize promo, because he didn't have the March or April ones, obviously, because Jasco Games didn't send those to him in time. I ended up just taking some, asking for him to give me more participation promos for me to give out to friends that get into this game, because Hunts for Spider and Dragons is a pretty good card. And that was one of the ones I didn't really have extras of. So I just got more of those because there was nothing else to get. So for me, prizes were kind of really disappointing.
And while it was nice to let people choose their promos, I don't think that should be a standard practice. And I doubt that's going to be the practice here in Arkansas this coming Saturday. So one of the things that came up in the news recently that we kind of didn't really talk too much about was Miles Tyler posting about how he was considering a position for running organized play, which I don't necessarily think they need like a dedicated employee. I think there's other ways to do it. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe the larger stores maybe be contracted out to do it, wholesalers contracted out to do it. That's really kind of a Jasco Games decision. That being said, we talked at length, Kevin and I did, on the way back from Poughkeepsie about standardized kits and ways to improve organized play. And outside of standardized kits, Kevin, what was our brainchild on the way back from Poughkeepsie?
We had several. I think that one of the biggest ones for me was the idea of having exit surveys and having a kind of an apparatus in place so that we could make sure that we can hear the players' voices who go to these events and then either liked something, disliked something, wanted more, were satisfied, or were just completely satisfied with it, or whatever they had to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think exits, especially anonymous exit surveys, would be really good because right now the only feedback Jasco Games gets is either us when we get really salty, or people could also be us who are really happy. But saying prize support sucked is not actionable feedback.
Yeah, and getting details like, well, we really, like we went down here for this promo, or we don't care about playmats. That's much more useful than, oh, this was just, like, as a whole, this was bad. And it's a lot harder for a kind of a like, finely pointed message like, this thing's good, this thing isn't, this thing's okay, this is exactly what I want, versus this was bad to get through, kind of when there isn't someone specifically out there soliciting feedback from players.
Right. And customer service feedback is important in every industry. I mean, I know every day when I leave Wegmans, which is our local grocer, there's a survey you pick up out the door. Did we do well today? And stores, grocery stores, retailers, anything customer service is always seeking, customer feedback to try to improve their product, because organized play is a customer service experience. Every player who walks into the tournament hall is a customer. They're not a player. They're not
Absolutely
somebody who's an annoyance. That's your customers, and when you're the tournament organizer, effectively you represent Jasco Games for that day. And with no sets coming out right now, the customer service experience has to be better. I mean, we've got a great community, that we're in a good place for that, but without sets coming out, we have to have great organized play in order to keep people engaged, and it's not there. So exit surveys felt really important. We rambled.
I know one of my other bones to pick was having online registration I think that in the 21st century, that's just something you should have.
We had that for a little while, then they got rid of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where I just think that maybe Jasco Games isn't the place to, like, maybe they shouldn't be running these events, and they should have someone else who, for example, runs a player-facing online store that would be able to help run these events for them and help novice TOs like
Rich.
TOing this weekend.
Rich?
Yeah, who would be able to have a dedicated person who would help them out or be able to answer rules questions if from a smaller event or something like that, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Rather than putting all these things falling by default onto Jason's plate.
In fact, I think just to bring this up, because I wasn't in the car with this, I was in the other Rochester car. That's actually basically exactly what another store does that I know of does for the Japanese version of Weisschwartz. There's a store in the U.S. that they run all the events. They set up registration and everything for their WGPs, which is the equivalent of their PTCs. And he's actually the head judge. If there's like a major ruling that can't be answered, he's on call every weekend. There's a tournament for people to call him up for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically how they run that. They have less of a prize structure in that game because that's how Bushiroad does it. But they make sure that all registration and everything happens through their site.
Right. I mean, that'd be a huge improvement. Online registration, online deck lists. I mean, right now...
Yeah, like, could you imagine submitting as part... Like, you pay $25 online. Pay $20 online. Maybe you get the pre-reg discount again. And you include a UFS Ultra link. And that's your registration. You are now ready to sign up for the tournament.
I don't know. Is that really going to work out for someone like you who changes his deck 5 seconds before the event?
We didn't think about that.
It's an option.
I mean, it'd be nice to have
whether or not I would use that
so
particular option every time.
Oh, I thought you meant like you needed to hand this in.
Oh, I mean, we're talking about how this is customer service and saying, hey, customers, you have to do it our way. That's poor customer service.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Having the option, yeah, that would be nice. Because that could speed up the event more. You made it sound like I interpret it as just like you have to have this in order to show up to your event.
Right.
That would suck. Yeah. I mean, we can't turn away people at the door either. So,
I mean, it would be nice too because I know recently there've been a couple of game losses handed out during deck checks for people who either didn't put the full name of the card or wrote down the wrong card. I mean, you know that if you take it off UFS Ultra, the whole name is going to be there and it's going to be spelt correctly.
Yeah, I know this weekend, actually, it was Marcus, the Lilith player, and classic Giggles luck, got paired with him, who had a game loss, wrote down Shiranui on his deck list under the attacks lineup, but since the attacks foundation sections aren't actually strictly enforced because they're too small, he got a game loss for writing Shiranui because it was ambiguous if it was Shiranui no Mai's Ultra attack, or if it was Shiranui training or foundation.
Right. So
sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
that would, I think, help with the customer service experience because it's happened where somebody has just written the word designed, and it's like, well, is it improved design, designed for combat? It also helps for people like Kevin who like to make up card names, and which is really difficult for the poor bastard who sits there on Monday trying to type these deck lists up when the cards are misspelled.
Did you have trouble with my deck when you wrote it down?
Huh?
What?
You posted the deck list for this weekend, right? Did you have trouble with mine?
There was 1 or 2 cards that I had to think about for a few minutes, but I think this was also because this was 3 in the morning.
I mean, one thing players should always remember is in the tournament floor rules, it says you must write the exact name of the card. Which, unfortunately, is kind of a hassle when, you're running Mai's Ultra attack that's got like 7 words in it.
Yeah, or Hien Shippu, Ryujin Kyaku,
or if you're playing extended, you got to write down Glazande, Fisher, and Himmel.
Yeah.
Glazande, Nova, and Fisher Himmel.
Although at the same time, then there's, I mean, this actually happened, I think at Worlds, one of the decks was playing Hao Hiten Kyako and Hien Hao Kyako. So taking shortcuts there will completely ruin everything.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a huge improvement. Having pre-registration back would be nice. That takes a little stress off the tournament organizer the day of the event. I mean, unfortunately, overall, for UFS right now, stores typically aren't that involved as far as like the brick and mortars. They're more than happy to let the poor organized play guy do things and just collect the money, as we saw this weekend. So,
yep,
that's a big thing. So, and if anybody out there in the chat has any suggestions on how to improve organized play, please post them, because I'm going to be hopefully putting together a proposal for Jason to try to make some major improvements here this year. My first major improvement, which is a good segue, is the PTC kit. Here's if you want to post it up.
Yep. And I'll be sharing this after the show for people to... But here it is right now.
So, as you guys digest this, the important things, to me about this kit is that every time you go to a PTC, you know exactly what you're going to get. And just, I'm not going to read this all to you guys, but just some things, like good examples. Like, if you go to a PTC under this system, round 1, you're going to get 2x of the current month's super promo. So, which means if you show up this month, you're going to get 2 copies of Novitiate. Oh, wait, we're in March. So it's Spine Sweep. And then in round 2, you're going to get 4 copies of Remembrance. And then rounds 3 and 4, you get last month's prizes. So people who don't play at their locals every week has an opportunity to get these prizes and maybe you didn't come in first or second, you're going to get those super promos just for showing up.
Yeah, and the idea is that these super promos they have very real value. They're powerful cards. And so it might provide a small incentive for people to actually travel to these events. That might be, the next state over, and you might actually show up just to get these guaranteed participation prizes on top of that shot at the plane ticket.
Mm-hmm. And then in later rounds, we had a suggestion, packs, because people do like to open packs. Hopefully, as things go in the future, they're going to be relevant packs that you're going to be excited to open. A lot of people right now have opened many, many boxes of Rise of the Masters, but imagine here in the future, when Battle for Power comes out, getting those packs are going to feel a lot more special. We talk about round 6, which will be the extended kit. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Diversity support, diversity has always been a thing of contention with people, so that's built into the kit. And then it breaks down for top 4, the final, top 8, top 4, the finalists, and then the champion. And everything, and it has a total for the kits, so everything that Jasco would need to make the kit, and then a cost of, I chose $400 because that's what it costs right now. I don't know how the price would adjust based on the cost of Jasco games. And then, as an option for people to buy a kit extender, because, sometimes we do have tournaments that are larger than 24 people, so it includes more copies of the promos to give out during rounds. It adds an additional promo, Jiffany Jamber, for when you have to do a 6th round. And then you can purchase that, what I'm proposing, for an additional $100. And so let's say you buy the kit plus the kit extender, that's $500. And you only need, oh boy, math time, $25 a person. You need 20 people to show up? Does that math check out, Kevin?
Be more than that. There are 24 people?
Well, 24 people. So if 24 people show up, then you get, you're going to pay for both the kit and the extender.
25. If you get 25 in actual money to pay for the kit, you only need 20 people.
Well,
yeah, why don't we use the calculator?
Yeah.
So, what day and age are we in? You need 16 people.
So
but it's 500 for the extended kit.
I'm saying, this is a little bit high, but I'm too lazy.
Some of the money has to go to the store to get the space. Some of the money has to go to, I don't know.
Right. So, if 20 people show up for the basic kit, the store's going to make $100 on the day. And then if you reach the point where you're going to have 25 people show up, then you've paid for the kit extender plus $125 in the store's pocket.
Yep.
Or money into store credit, but if you're at the store down in Poughkeepsie, more money for the store's pocket. So that should be, I think that would be a huge improvement. I'd like I said, guys, mull over this, munch this up, and tell me out in the chat, is this kit what you would get, for playing in rounds, something you think would be worth traveling, a 3-4 hour car ride to play in the event?
I actually want to bring up one thing that's missing from what you told me about it this past weekend. What about that new promo idea?
We mulled that around a little bit, like having a PTC exclusive promo. And it would be really, like a promo that's exclusive to PTCs. And that'd be really awkward. When does it become legal? If your store happens to have the first PTC, is it legal there? Is it not legal there? And then when in the PTC season would it become legal?
Fair.
And so I ended up scrapping that idea.
Personally, I think the white border promos and whatnot, and the special like super hype promos that they've been doing, I think it should be that slot. Like, imagine if every PTC you showed up this year, you got a Sagaki.
Or even if it were just nice. You got a Gemini man.
Then it got banned.
Yeah.
But I think that's definitely something
for the 2K. And I think it's probably a good idea here too.
Yeah.
I mean, a card that isn't, that's already available, but you get a special one for going to the 2K.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing we want to do is make sure that if you're a player and let's say you do drive 4 hours to get to, the local PTC, you want to feel like you didn't waste your time, waste your money, waste your gas. Because a 5-hour trip, I mean, that's an overnight trip for a PTC, especially when you start late and you can't get through elimination.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start getting super salty, like when only one person in your car, progressed far into elimination, everyone else is just kind of sitting around and waiting and waiting and waiting. You want to walk away. Players want to walk away feeling like they had a good customer service experience. And I mean, people like free stuff. I mean, that's a fact of the matter.
Yeah. Like, I think an awesome thing they also could have done, let's have our promo reprint caught red-handeds at PTCs.
It'd be nice to have promo reprint caught red-handeds.
Yeah, that's a generic enough name. And I think people want that card more than Throw It Down.
I think the biggest danger with promo reprint caught red-handeds is that the people who publish King of Fighters decide to catch Jason caught with his caught red-handed.
No, but that's the thing. It's a generic enough name. No, you make it like it's like the Throw It Down. You have like Reese playing cards or something. Be like, you caught me cheating. You caught me trying to stab you with my sword.
It would be Lily, because Cowboys.
Yes,
cards.
yeah, Lily.
Perfect.
You have Lily trying to cheat as the art.
You don't even.
Yep, you don't even need to pay me for this idea, Jasco Games. Just go ahead, make the art, print it.
Well, isn't that like a champ card because you just designed it?
I don't know.
Unacceptable.
Oh well. Sorry guys, I just ruined Caught Red-Handed for us. But like that's where like the generic reprints like that. That would be a good place to put them, because I know a lot of people have been complaining about Caught Red-Handed and wanting them, and I've been, with how little I've been playing lately with real decks, I've thought about getting rid of my Caught Red-Handeds to people that need them, because when people are willing to shell out like $10 a piece for those.
I noticed Corey in the chat said that we should give first and second a full booster box, and third and fourth should get half. Now, we do want to make sure this does remain cost effective.
Yes.
One optimization that I like is to take away the champions' extra prizes. They're already getting by far the best prize in the entire event, the thing with the highest cash value, and it's not remotely close. They don't really need another half box on top of that.
Agreed. Also, this is a minor thing, and shouldn't really be taken away from this, but there's got to be a set that is worth us getting that full box or whatnot.
True.
I mean,
I thought about
I wasn't sad to get a box of Mega Man. Like, there's still plenty of cards in there that are chase rares that people that are easily converted to whatever else I want.
My only
Although
thought
I
about
didn't
making
open
sure
the
the
packs.
champion still gets some prizes, it does feel good to walk away from the day with like something in your hand. Like I don't even think the kid had the nice little paper that said "Congratulations, you won a gift card for Southwest" or something.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Jack said he was going to coordinate that directly.
It just would feel really awkward to be like, "Hey, congratulations! Here's all these prizes for second place. I don't have actually anything to give you right now. You know, maybe like a giant
Sean,
check or something."
I'm pretty thrilled when I just walk away knowing I won. Like I don't even need the plane ticket, and I get the plane ticket later. But I'm pretty like I don't need that.
I mean, they say in the chat right now, there's no proof that they got the plane credit.
Yep.
We could all pretend the event never happened and nobody gets Player of the Year points and nobody gets to go to Las Vegas to play in the 2K.
Sean O'Brien, would that be good customer service though?
What did you say?
No,
Would that be good customer service?
it would not.
Nope. Which is why we should prove that we were doing good customer service.
So,
12 booster packs doesn't prove that.
People like opening packs. You got that new pack smell that you get when you open them.
Packs have new pack smell? Oh,
yeah.
Now I really wish I could smell.
New cards have a special smell to them unless they're drive-through cards. Or they were packed with playmats, then they just smell rank.
Ooh, playmats.
Yeah.
Tasty.
So, but what I really want to accomplish with this kit is every month, every PTC is the same thing. You know, you don't have, as much as I love Jack Hale, props to him for trying to make this the best it could be, but we don't have like 1 month Jack Hale makes a special deal with Jasco Games, and then, you know, maybe there's a local PTC that's near me and I go to that, and then that PTC's price support is super bad compared to the one I have, and then people are always bitching and moaning. So that's what we want to do. And yes, Corey, it would require them to have tons of product. And if we could, even minus the packs, getting ahead on having these promos ready to go would be really nice. Because Kevin mentioned earlier, if you want to talk about how you think this kit actually came together for Poughkeepsie.
The kit we actually received. It was. I imagine that Shane kind of put it together. He had some set of things that he wanted to be in there, and he got it roughly where he wanted it to be, and then he shipped it out. Jack received it and said, there should be more than this, and so he threw a whole bunch of his own things into there. I don't know what the split was like, how much of it was Jack's, how much of it was from Jasco Games, but I definitely know that there were like the Mega Man preview cards were definitely straight out of Jack's pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, we all know the game's hurting for product, and I mean, doesn't seem like that's going to be fixed anytime soon based on the radio silence we have right now once again on releases. But I mean, as far as making sure the kits have the latest promos that people are excited to get, I think that's going to help people want to stay engaged with the PTCs. I mean, honestly, if I'd have never played UFS before and Jack had convinced me to show up with my starter deck this weekend, the price support would have been great. You'd gotten that Red Horizon Playmat, which if you don't have them, to buy them on Rochester CCG is $20. Getting these promos that came out months ago when you weren't playing and now you can get them, that's a great deal.
Now I'm not getting to pick your promos. That's really great, too.
Mm-hmm.
For this hypothetical new player.
For a newer player, this would have been great payout.
Yeah.
For veterans, the payout just keeps getting worse and worse, especially when there's still no sets.
The issue at the same time sometimes, though, is new players don't want to travel very far for events like these very often.
They're not committed, for sure.
Yeah.
But so you down the street or in their town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's not new players who are playing in these things.
Mm-hmm. Now, if we standardize these kits with support like this, maybe they'll travel a bit more.
Well, especially, if you can with confidence tell a new player that you just got to play and you're like, hey, you want to come with us? We're going to PTC this weekend. It's only 3 hours away. We can go there and come back the same day. It's $25, but you're going to get, being able to say with confidence, this is what you're going to get, and here's the value you get out of it. that makes it a much easier sell for somebody who's not as committed to UFS. Because, I mean, Jason could announce he's giving out ham sandwiches, and Kevin Broberg, the White Knight of UFS, he will hop on his horse and go play for that ham sandwich.
I could go for a ham sandwich right now.
And there are players like that who are going to go no matter what. I mean, Jack could have announced ham sandwiches, and Kevin would have gone. I would have gone. Christine would have gone. Hughes, you probably would have gone even for ham sandwiches. But those people who are
probably
kind of on the edge, not sure they want to go, they don't know anybody yet, so the community experience isn't such a big deal for them. Being able to tell them exactly what's going to happen, I think is a big deal.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Do I get to share the ham sandwich and have it sitting around with my friends? If I have to eat my ham sandwich in the corner, no, I'm not going.
One thing that is kind of scary is Jasto Games, I think, requires the plane ticket now to have at least a minimum of 20 people show up for the event.
Yep.
And I think, back to the pre-registering thing, it'd be really good for people who are on the fence about going to know if that plane ticket's going to be available. If you can, someone can announce, we've got 22 people pre-registered, so at least we're guaranteed to get this instead of...
Yeah.
I mean, I have to imagine...
The Origins thing last year was a catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
Judge, I have a business question.
What?
If there's not going to be enough people for them to hand out the plane ticket, does the kit still cost $400 or however $100? Because doesn't it cost that much money specifically because of the plane ticket?
Yeah, you sure it's 20 people to get a plane ticket and it's not 20 people to get...
Oh, no, it's 20 people to get a plane ticket.
That was my understanding.
Because that got brought up when Thunder Bay had like 8 people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I would feel bad for somebody who...
I was going to ask if it's not just about the Player of the Year points, which I think definitely that makes sense to have. You have to have a minimum size PTC.
No, I don't
if they already paid for the kit, that's really awful.
Yeah.
So...
That's definitely something to think about.
It would feel awful to travel to one of these things and then randomly not hit 20 people.
But
I know Ryan Field has some sour grapes because he played at the Columbus PTC last year and won. But because he had the misfortune of nobody showing up, not enough people showing up for it, he didn't get a plane ticket.
Yep.
And Ryan Field really hasn't played UFS since then.
Yeah. I think that definitely... That plus rotating Red Horizon back in, I think definitely kind of salted
you realize that he top 16 Worlds after that, right?
Yeah,
yeah. He was already committed to going at that point.
Yeah, he'd already got his hotel room and everything.
Yeah. But the main reason I wanted to bring this up is OMB on the chat earlier was talking about how they should write off the PTC kits in their advertising budget. It really feels like they're trying to make money off the tournaments instead of them being what they're supposed to be, just getting people to show up and commit to the game.
I mean, that's something to think about as well. But I think we've harped on PTCs enough, and it's getting about that time. Let's move on to our upcoming event schedule.
Yep.
We do have a PTC coming up this weekend at Little Rock at Imagine Games. Good luck to those attending there. I know Omaha is getting ready to make the trip down. Those are the people chasing Kevin Broberg for those Player of the Year points.
Good luck, boys.
Next, in only a couple of weeks, April 9th and 10th in Las Vegas is the Las Vegas PTC at a Gamer's Paradise, which I'm sure will have a great turnout because there's a lot of players in Las Vegas. April 30th to May 1st is the Omaha PTC. Kevin Broberg, you going to go to that one?
I don't know yet. I might go to the Las Vegas PTC as well. These are
Look
things
at
that are...
you, Mr. Fancy Pants. I mean, you got to play to win in this Player of the Year contest.
I got to play UFS because it's so fun, and everyone else in Rochester is super salty about it all the time. Except Andrew Forrest, but he lost a lot this weekend.
He was pretty salty this weekend.
Yeah, you didn't hear this weekend. But that's after the show.
Okay, let's see. May 14th to 15th is the fabulous Las Vegas 2K hosted by Rochester CCG at Level Up Expo. Get there. still time to get plane tickets. They say, what is it, 90 days? Not 90 days. How many days out to get the plane ticket, Kevin?
Sorry, come again?
How many days out should you buy your plane ticket?
I believe about 45 days.
So we're getting to that point where you may want to think about your ticket if you want to go. I'd like to see Corey there, see if he can take down an event in Las Vegas. That'd be pretty awesome. After the Las Vegas PTC is the Las Vegas 2K is the Rochester PTC.
Sean O'Brien, keep him busy.
Back-to-back events.
Oh, I'm going to be exhausted. June 4th to 5th at Millennium Games and Hobbies in Rochester, New York.
We get to actually go to Millennium for this?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
Not yet.
I know one thing we talked about in the store was we had a really exciting idea for this PTC. I thought it was really exciting.
Yeah. Well, for the private playroom?
Concession tickets for signing up. That was the idea.
We'll see.
We will see. That's up in the air.
And then June 25th to 26th is the Reading PTC at Matrix Cards and Comics. So get excited. Get to your local PTCs. Hopefully we can get prize support straightened out, get everything nice and consistent. And, I mean, that really wraps up everything I need to cover this weekend. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, for all of it, it would be great if we had product coming out. I mean, I think this really speaks to the strength of UFS, that we still have these 6 events, not just PTCs, but 5 PTCs plus the 2K, that people still want to play this game this much. It's that good.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I want to bring up is for my tabletop simulator UFS mod, I'm currently having trouble contacting the person who originally said they were going to help me with the scripting stuff for it. So if anyone knows how to use Lua and would like to help make this a very awesome way to play UFS that's much better than Octagon, please contact me because I have no idea what I'm doing with that.
I can probably learn.
Okay. All right, kids. With that, we're going to call it a week. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night.
Night, folks.
Good night, everyone.